Good morning, students. Today we will see about the third part of Taj Mahal, in which we will see about the interiors, the ornamental works, and the mosque which is located inside the Taj complex. The first we will see about the tomb which is located in the mausoleum. The tomb is of central focus. It occupies the central octagonal chamber. It stands on the square plinth. It stands on a raised square plinth, which is called as the Chabatra. The symmetrical building, it has the Ivan, which is topped by the large dome and a finial. Okay, so this is about the exterior, and this central part of the interior is with the domed structure and a finial. There is a multi-chambered cube on the sides, which forms an unequal octagon that is approximately 55 meters on each on the four longer sides. So the entire plan is about 55 meters side, and it is like a rough octagon. And each of these side has a high pestak or vaulted archway. So these are the high pestak or vaulted archway. Similar shaped arch balcony stacked on either sides. So these are the stacked balconies which you could see on the either side. So the interior of the Taj Mahal, it is raised on a platform. The platform is called as Chabudra, and the actual tomb of Shah Jahan and the Mumtaz is below the platform. This is the pathway which takes you to the underground chamber. This is actual tomb of Shah Jahan and Mumtaz, and surmounted by carving dome which is over 60 meters long on each side. This is to a dome structure. The dia is around 60 meters, and the height is over 60 meters at its pinnacle. So this is around 60 meters at its pinnacle. The platform covers an area of 94 square meters. So the entire platform is 94 square meter area. And this is the entrance to the mausoleum. Okay, this is the entrance to the underground chamber or the cenote. So this is the actual cenote of Shah Jahan. Main chamber for house the false sarcophagi of Mumtaz and Shah Jahan. The actual grave is at the lower level. So the main chamber, it is the sarcophagi of which is on the upper level. It is the sarcophagi of Mumtaz and Shah Jahan. But the underground chamber has the original cenote. As the central chamber is an octagonal dome. It is flanked on each wall by outer chambers which create frequently in the Mughal architecture. These are the Ivans which have rooms or the chambers. And this layout plan is called as Hasbisti, a 9-fold plan which was derived from the architectural precedent. So the similar you would have seen in the Humayun's tomb. The Humayun's tomb formed the predecessor to this plan of Taj Mahal. So this Humayun's tomb form an example of the tomb structure of Taj Mahal. This is the entrance to the cenote at the ground level, where it is being covered with the jali work, surrounded by a marble screen of jali work. The emperor of the tomb lies. Emperor tomb lies aside, but as it is not desired for his tomb structure, it lies aside, and the central is occupied by the tomb of Mumtaz. It was buried in 1631. Shah Jahan's tomb is on the side where he was buried after his death in 1666. Originally, it was not planned for the cenote of Shah Jahan, so it is kept. Not in the central axis. It is just kept somewhat closer to his wife, which was added after his death. So there is a protective octagonal screen made of perforated marble panels or jalis with marble inlaid works, and there are two cenotes, one of Shah Jahan and another one of Mumtaz. Each of the jali panel is made up of includes the large doorway, north face. There's a doorway on the north face and are carved from a single slab of marbles. All these panels are carved out of single slab of marbles. There is a doorway on the north side. So when you enter, you could see the tomb through the jali. And there is a tomb of Shah Jahan and Mumtaz. In the interior, there is a staircase which leads to the upper story that has 4 octagonal rooms on the upper stories. The rooms are provided with jali works, which brings an air and light unfiltered through the interior of the chamber. All the interior of the chamber, they have huge arches. The interior of the chamber, it has huge arches. These arches are provided with jali works, which brings in light and air. And the shining marble on the arches, spandrel of the arches is being carved with arabesque design, and it does have the inlay works. So this is about the dome structure. The inner dome is an umbrella to the central octagonal chamber. You know that there is a false door. There is a false dome over the chamber, and the original dome is over which is around 16 meters dia and 16 meters height. So there is a false interior dome. 4 rectangular rooms are situated on the sides. The inner layer of the dome is like the exterior, and it is made up of creamy white marble, and it has geometrical inlays, and it could see the symbol of sun, which symbolizes Allah's divine presence within the tomb of his devout servant. The ornamentation and moldings on the within the Taj Mahal. The carving at Taj Mahal is done by a unique technique called Manabat Kari, which is essentially the carving that stands out of the flat surface. Manabat Kari is nothing but a process which is drawing the flowers directly on the panel using henna. Then they are used to chisel it out, or chisel to carve them out. These drawings are directly drawn on the marble using henna, and after that it is being chiseled out or carved out. That the process is called as Manabat Kari. And they have used around 43 different kinds of gems for the inlay works. And these are the ornamentation and molding. You could see the Pietro Dura and the marble inlay works on the walls. And these are the floral design which is being introduced on the Guldasta and also in the finial. So these are the floral ornamentation which are found on the spandrel of the arches. This is the jali inlay work which is made up of a single marble, and the jali work which is made in the red sandstone, which forms the railing all around in the Chabudra. And these are patterns with red sandstone and white marble, which they use a geometrical pattern or the star arrangements. These are the flooring patterns. And these are the calligraphy writing which are seen on the Pastak. So this calligraphic writing, they follow a pattern of writing smaller at the bottom and enlarging it when it moves up. So the Taj Mahal material cast and calligraphy. Taj Mahal was constructed with using the material which is brought from India and all over from Asia. The building are constructed with walls and bricks and rubble, and inner core is with bricks and rubble, and the outer core is with marble. Sandstone looked together with iron, which is locked together by means of iron dowels and clamps. Much of this calligraphy is composed of florid Tulut script. The script which is used is Tulut script, which is made up of jasper and black marble inlaid in white marble panels. Higher panels are written in slightly larger script to reduce the skewing effect when viewed from below. Throughout the complex passage, the verses from the Quran is used as a decorative elements. So these are the stormwater drains which collects the water and it takes it to the water channels. These are the gutters which are provided, which drop out the water out from the building, and this water is taken through the drains to the water channel. And the next comes the mosque. The mosque is another important important building within the Taj complex. This is to the left of the mausoleum, and this was built with sandstone and pristine with white marble, which is contradictory to the white marble structure. And it spread to a size of 210 feet and 90 feet in width. And the mosque, it stands on the raised platform. It stands within the raised platform. The front face of the mosque boasts of one big central Iwan. This is the central Iwan, and there are two side Iwans. The central dome is flanked with two smaller domes, and there are 4 chhatris on the corners. And the other design is the inclusion of the guldasta to increase the height of the mosque, which flanks the sides of the Iwans. So either side of the Iwan there are 2 smaller arches and 4 pinnacles which towers the arches, and the spandrel above the arches there is a colored marble inlay work, and there is a dado work. The pistak is also with marble, and also the other works, dado works, are also done with marbles. On the roof there is a bigger dome and 2 smaller domes on either side of the bigger dome, which is also a marble coated dome, which has a lotus, inverted lotus structure and crowned by a gilded finial. And the 4 corners of the mosque, they have chhatris. And the chhatri is also has a domed kiosk, which is made up of red sandstone and white marble. So the interior of the mosque, there is a beautiful inlay of flooring. So the giving a carpet feel, the floor area is inlaid with red marble and with red marble stone in a pattern of prayer mats. So these is the interior of the mosque. The dome of the mosque, it is with highly ornate display of beautiful geometrical patterns. The white inlay work which stand out splendidly against the red sandstone background. So you could see the marble inlay work on the red sandstone dome, which is highly geometrical, and it's a beautiful geometrical pattern is being created. And this is the interior of the mosque, where you have the member platform where the priest delivered the lecture, and this is the mihrab which faces the Mecca. So this is the mihrab which is made up of white marble. This is you could see the calligraphic inscriptions all over the mosque, which is taken from the verses of Quran, which is the verses of Quran is being meant in the calligraphic work. And this is the foundation of the Taj Mahal. A well foundation is made for the Taj Mahal, as it is very closer to the river Yamuna. So we could see the view of the rooftop chhatris. So this is from the rooftop chhatris. We could see the domes, chhatris, the minarets. And this is the view from the minaret. You could see the mosque and the entry gateways. And the entire garden, Charbagh garden. Thank you.